great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight.
Either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Western Reserve Radio is on the road again. It's Cleveland Cobras football on WesternReserveRadio.com, on the Live 365 network, and the Live 365 app. Nobody likes a snake.
From Lakewood Middle School in Lakewood, Ohio, it is Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, streaming live on the Western Reserve Radio Facebook page. We greet you from an overcast, cloudy, 82-degree Saturday evening here in Lakewood for the Cleveland Cobras and the Lake Erie Explosion. Mark Means, Jim Craven, Dave Ferris back at our Western Reserve studios in Struthers, and a big matchup at the late point of the season for the Cobras, Jim.
Yep, two very young rosters here in Cleveland and along the lakes of shores of Lake Erie that are trying to find their way. And today's going to be one of those days where it's an even matchup. You know, they're going in the same, like I said, same direction, having some of the same issues, going through some growing pains, but nonetheless, we expect a pretty good game tonight.
These two teams met early on in the season, 29-14 win for the Cobras over the Explosion. Inside the numbers, first for the head coach John Brown II for the Lake Erie Explosion. They are 0-5. They have one game remaining on their schedule. That will be in 2 weeks when they travel to Columbus to take on the 5-0 Fire on August 7th. The Explosion averaging about 6 points per game offensively, giving up just under 46 points per game defensively. A young team, a small roster, going through some growing pains in their first year in the GDFL.
And make no mistake that their division is absolutely tough as they come. You start including teams like the Columbus Fire, who have just had their way with many teams this year, and then pulling over the Erie Express from their division to fill in gaps in the schedule. And when you look at that, that's an unenviable task for any team.
For the Cobras, 1-5 under head coach Jesse Caldwell, averaging 5 points per game offensively, 33 points per game defensively. They will also finish their season out with the Fire, but that will be next week. That will be right here at Lakewood Middle School. Tim Continenza will join me on the call of that one next week. And a game both these teams want to get, knowing you've got a very formidable foe in the Fire, their last game of the season.
Yeah, and this is, as far as the Cobras, so many things have gone wrong for them this year. Beginning with their head coach, Jerry Minisali, ended up having some external issues. He's now down in Florida. Injuries have mounted up, in addition to some other internal issues. And, then you have to finish out with a Columbus Fire team. And, since the beginning of the season, we hadn't heard much about the Fire. They've been very quiet, but they started out their season with a big win over a powerhouse Racine Raiders team. And nobody has stopped them since then. So, again, this isn't one of those things where, you look at things like the NFL and they talk about the strength of schedule. And certainly the Cobras and even the Explosion have had, the disadvantage of playing some of the big powerhouse teams in the country.
We are on the turf here at Lakewood Middle School. As we said, temperature in the low 80s, overcast, kind of hazy, a slight chance for some showers. We are on the turf, so that should not be a factor. Lights have been on since we arrived, probably an hour and a half ago during warm-ups. And the Explosion in pretty much the all-yellow uniform with the blue numbers trimmed in white. The Cobras in the all-black here tonight with the green numbers, the white trim, and the white shoes. Both teams going through some pregame warm-ups. We'll step aside for a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back, get you ready for tonight's kickoff here on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamp-colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
Listen to Grove City College football all season long right here on Western Reserve Radio.
Play action for East with time down the field. Got him in stride. That's Drake. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Cameron Drake. Give it to Schools across the 50. 45, 40. He's gone. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wesley Schools.
Listen to head coach Andrew DiDonato and the Grove City College Wolverines all year long right here on Western Reserve Radio.
This is the Cleveland Cobras Football Network on Western Reserve Radio.
We are just about 6 minutes away from kickoff here this evening from Lakewood Middle School here on Western Reserve Radio. Mark Means, Jim Craven, Dave Ferris. Some other games underway around the GDFL, and the future opponent for both of these two teams, the Columbus Fire, looking to go to 6-0.
Yeah, they've got an early kickoff down there in Columbus. And as we take a look at your Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard, the Columbus Fire lead the Pittsburgh Saints 16-6. That was the last account at halftime. A little while ago, we'll try to bring you up to date as we get those coming in. They've come in a little slow, but there were a few 5 o'clock games that kicked off today, so we'll get to those as soon as we can.
But not this one. This one was a 7 o'clock kickoff.
This is a 7 o'clock kickoff.
All right, just making sure. So as we get set for this one here in a few minutes, we talk about the Cobras and their offense in this matchup. And David Thompson back tonight to play some quarterback for the Cobras.
Yeah, and he did a really good job a couple of weeks ago against Erie. You started to see the offense move a little bit better. You had Eddie Edwards and a company now able to get out and spread out a little bit. And that helped. It certainly did. Of course, that game didn't end the way they wanted to, but nonetheless, last week, Eddie Edwards at quarterback against the Rams did a really good job. That game 8-0 in the third quarter, and ultimately ended up being a 30-0 win for the Rams. So, again, great effort by the Cobras. Again, things just have not gone right for them. It's been one thing after another. And this roster to here, and say what you want about them, but they've hung in there. They've stuck with Jesse Caldwell and company, and they'll hopefully finish out the season strong here, start building for next year, and I know a lot of teams are already doing that.
Yeah, it's at that point of the season where unfortunately, the postseason will not be a factor this year for either one of your teams, but it's a chance to play, guys, see what you've got.
Yeah, and if you get some younger guys that come in or some late additions to the roster. Now, the rosters are locked for the GDFL, so there aren't going to be too many additional names, but you'll see some younger guys if maybe they'll get an opportunity to step up. But right now, a lot of this is open, even for coming up for next year. If you're looking forward to that, but that your work can start now. But although the playoffs will be here, shortly.
You've had a lot of different experience at this level. Can you ask for a better weather game in the next to last week of July?
Yeah, with a breeze down here, it's a little bit humid, not too much though, but no sun to deal with, and it's not extremely hot. And everybody, by this time of year, you're physically beat up, but you're usually in pretty good shape. So it should be a great game tonight. I don't think we're going to have too many hydration timeouts as the officials start to get everything set. So we'll we'll be looking for a very nice football night.
And one of the things you and I have talked about on the way up here and, talking about throughout the season, you look at that number, 33 points per game defensively, and that is definitely a big number. But the way the team has played the last couple of weeks, the defense has really come on strong late in the year.
Yeah, and I think there was because of the roster so young, it's a matter of guys trying to catch up with the speed of the game. I think when you're that young, you're coming out of high school, you've been out a year or two, you really don't appreciate the impact and the speed of the game until you're on the field with these guys. And you play teams like Columbus and Erie and WPA, and they're the real deal. I mean, these are guys that genuinely come out of college. And, at any given point, I think there's a lot of guys in those programs that could end up in a professional setting.
We'll take our final timeout, come back and kick this one off from Lakewood Middle School here on Western Reserve Radio.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Right back here to Lakewood Middle School as we are set for the beginning of the game between the Lake Erie Explosion and the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras will kick. Explosion will send two returners back deep to return tonight's opening kickoff here on Western Reserve Radio. Cobras lined up, ready to kick the football away. Again, twin returners standing deep at their own 5-yard line. We are ready to begin game number 7 for the Cobras, game number 6 for the Explosion. No one said there'd be math. Underway, end over end, deep kick, drives the returner back to the 5-yard line. Comes across the 10, outside 15, cuts back to the 20, looking to get outside to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and down to about the 43-yard line before being driven out of bounds and into the bench area. But he'll pop right back up, and that is a good return for the Explosion to start their first drive, going right to left.
Yeah, the Cobras did a good job staying in their lanes on the interior. However, on the outside, didn't hold that contain. And the Explosion were able to get outside, which is going to give them good field position. And this has been a problem for the Cobras all year long. Their defense has been playing with their backs to the goal line a lot of times. Although this is not the situation like that, but this has been a consistent problem for them all year long.
It will spot the football, looks like, at the 41-yard line. Opening possession for the Explosion. Expansion GDFL franchise in the yellow pants, yellow jerseys with blue trim and blue numbers and the yellow helmets. So we are set for our first play from scrimmage. Looks like George Townsend is in at quarterback to begin this drive for the Explosion, wearing number 14. Explosion taking a little time as they get set to break the huddle, come to the line. Again, right to left. Took the opening kickoff. They now move the ball back just inside the 40, the edge of the football on the 40-yard line. I formation, wing to the right side. Man will go in motion. Turn. Townsend gives it on a handoff to the tailback, who pushes the pile forward for about 2 yards on the run. That's John Michael, number 45 on the carry. Second down and 8.
I like what the Explosion did on there. Had a guy in motion going from right to left. And that kind of drew the eyes a little bit of the linebackers of the Cobras, and then handed it off up the middle. So you'll see a little bit more activity in the backfield from the Explosion than you will the Cobras. And that's where your discipline comes in your secondary and in your linebackers.
So they come to the line, 2nd down and 8. Ball resting at the 43-yard line. Again, I formation. Wing to the right side. This time Townsend goes under center. Going to hand the ball off and be driven back for just about a yard loss on the play as Townsend got tripped up and taken down. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Now, just a quick handoff up the middle. The interior of the Cobra defense has been playing very well the last couple of weeks. Played tough against the Erie and played even better against the Rams last week. And that's really helped the linebackers. When you keep the linemen off of them, you let them flow freely, they're going to make better plays, they're going to be able to see it better, and they're going to be able to come up and make tackles.
Townsend brings the play in from the far sidelines. 3rd down and long, 3rd and close to 8, just under 13 minutes to play. Opening quarter, first drive of tonight's game. Again, single receivers go to each side. Eye into the backfield, wing to the right side. Townsend under center on 3rd and 8. He's going to turn, give it to the second man through in the I formation, who's thrown down behind the line of scrimmage back near the 40-yard line. That was John Michael on the carry. The Cobras stand tall and bring up 4th and long.
Right, that was just disrupted in the backfield from the beginning. Brandon Fleming coming off the right side from a corner position was able to come down and get a hand on him, slow him down a little bit, and then got help from everybody else. And that's what you wanted to see from them all year long. And we have a couple returners coming back from injury, and that Robert Littlejohn at defensive end, he's back there now, and we'll see what kind of game he can have.
So it looks like the Explosion will punt on 4th down and just a hair under 10. Movement up front, snap, kick is end over end and short. Ball's going to be fielded at the 32-yard line and dropped at the 30-yard line. And that is where the Cobras will take over, 1st down and 10.
Yeah, dangerous there. Ball coming down and all kinds of traffic. And it was picked up off the hop by Cameron Scott. But he went down, and there was a flag on the play. Didn't see what kind of call.
I think that was the beanbag.
Oh, he must have thrown his flag, then it was yellow. That's happened from time to time. I can't say that it hasn't happened.
A lot of things have happened over the years.
Sometimes you throw the beanbag instead of the flag. Or
are you speaking from experience?
I am speaking from experience. That first year around, you get a little excited sometimes. It doesn't go
just
quite
reach
your
for
way.
Something.
Yep, you just pull something out of your pocket. Could be your car keys, some change. I don't know.
David Thompson at the quarterback spot. He'll come out, 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left side. Single running back in the backfield with him. Thompson drops back into a pistol formation on a 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Thompson takes the snap. Going to keep it. And she flipped it out to the outside for no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd down and long. That was Jawan Carlisle who had the football.
Yeah, Carlisle was lined up to the right of Dave Thompson. Just tried to get an end around, real basic type play. Couldn't catch the end. Brandon Antall on the interior defensive line came in and kind of disrupted that. And no different than what the Cobras did on their last play against the Explosion, just causing chaos in the back and waiting for your backside pursuit to help you out.
11:31 to play here in the second quarter. In the opening quarter. Trying to really push this game along.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah.
First quarter, fourth quarter, football. 2nd down and just about 9 to go. They'll wind the clock, and we're back under play. Thompson takes the snap, fakes the option. He's going to keep it. Now he'll pitch it to the outside across the 30, 35, spins across the 40, down to the 41-yard line, and a 1st down for Carlisle. Nice job by Thompson to bring defense in at the last minute, pitch it to Carlisle for a 1st down.
Yeah, he held on to that as long as he humanly possibly could. Even got into a little bit of traffic. A couple of the Explosion players over-pursued him. And he was able to get that ball out to Carlisle, who's going to pick up a 1st down for the Cobras.
Not a look we've seen a lot of this year, but that was very effective.
No, and this is something easy you can run out of the formations and the type of offense that the Cobras run. They're in the spread offense most of the time, but that's something easily you can add into this. But again, with Dave Thompson, maybe we can do a few different things.
Thompson, the quarterback. Carlisle, the tailback. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Thompson up to the line, pointing out protections to his offensive line. Now drops back into a pistol. Takes the snap, 3-step drop, stands in the pocket, fires a little too tall and incomplete, trying to go downfield to Eddie Edwards, and in and out of his hands, 2nd down and 10.
Edwards is one of those guys that he's been Mr. Everything to this team all year long, whether it be quarterback, receiver, he's even seen some time a running back, but just overthrew the ball on that, and Dave getting a little bit warmed up and didn't get his feet set, so that caused him to overthrow that. But I like what I'm seeing on the right side of the Cobras offense. You got Eric Wallace and Eddie Edwards over there, 2 of their really key players lining up. And then on the far side, Emma Calhoun, it looks like they're trying to get some one-on-one with the corner out there.
It will go single receiver to the left. That's Robertson. Trips to the short side of the formation to the right side. Carlisle in the backfield with Thompson on 2nd down and 10. Explosion showing some pressure coming up the middle. Now they'll move Carlisle from the right to the left side. Thompson takes the low snap, stands in, going to go downfield, overthrown, almost intercepted, in and out of the hands of the defender, Rashawn Alston, the safety for the Explosion.
Yeah, Jerron Robertson was the intended receiver there. The Explosion only sent 3 on that play, so plenty of coverage in the secondary. And Thompson, again, just can't time it up, and that's just a case of not having a lot of time with these guys as he came in later in the season. But nonetheless, you can see that there are some things that can work for the Cobras.
So 3rd down and 10. Back to twin receivers to each side. Thompson out of the pistol with Carlisle, the tailback, to his right side. Down to just about 9 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Carlisle's got to keep it, try to bounce to the outside across the 45 to the 50, close to that 1st down marker, and he may just have picked it up by the nose of the football, using that speed to get to the edge and pick up a Cobra 1st down.
Yeah, that was a replay of the play they ran on 1st down. This time, Carlisle was able to get that edge and was able to get outside. And then from there, just all work by him, trying to navigate his way through traffic. And they are going to say that is a 1st down.
So the drive will continue. 2nd first down of this opening possession for the Cobras. Just inside Explosion territory at the 49-yard line. Calhoun going to go out wide to the outside to the left with Robertson. Split twin receivers to the right side. Thompson working again out of the pistol. Carlisle is the tailback. Explosion showing press coverage on the outside, playing a little off in the slot. Thompson back to throw. All kinds of pressure. He's going to have to eat this football, and the ball's going to be blown dead back near the 40-yard line. That's the first time we saw the Explosion, so show some pressure up the middle.
Yeah, that's going to be Raven Moss coming up through there and causing all that chaos. He was helped by Brandon Antall. That was just a breakdown on the front line for Cleveland. And fortunately, Thompson not taking a hit on that. Play being blown dead beforehand.
So that football is all the way back just inside the 40-yard line. That is a loss of about 11 on the play. And will bring up 2nd down and long. Cobras will need to get to the Explosion 39-yard line to pick up a 1st down. Twins again, right and left. Carlisle, the tailback, to the right of Thompson, the quarterback. Explosion losing some stand-up defensive linemen the last couple of plays, trying to get some extra pressure. Thompson going to run that option. Pitches it to Carlisle. Stiff arms the defender. Gets across the 40, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 49-yard line, where he is pushed out of bounds. Now they'll say give him the 50-yard line, and he'll pick up about 9 on the play and bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, obviously Cleveland's seen something here where they're going to run that option and take advantage maybe of some of the youth or some of the over pursuing for Lake Erie, and that seems to be what it is. And I don't know about the discipline on the defense there, but they're staying with the pitch man. And then Carlisle being on the outside really didn't have anybody in front of them. So they're going to have to make some adjustments on that side of the ball. They may have not seen that from Cleveland or maybe any other team right now in the GDFL.
6 minutes, 20 seconds, scoreless here in the opening quarter. First possession for the Cobras, left to right here at Lakewood Middle School. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right side. Thompson and Carlisle in the backfield. Little confusion in the secondary defensively for the Explosion. Thompson back to throw. Two-step drop. Pump's going to take a shot deep. Single coverage outside just over the stretched out hands of Eric Wallace, who is on the edge. Lots of contact, but no flag.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of contact there, and I thought that was going to be a flag from the back judge, but nonetheless, I guess he's going to get away with that grab. That was Overonde Hubbard on the coverage.
Let's give credit to the offensive line. They gave Thompson a lot of time to look off the play to the left, go back to Wallace on the other side of the field.
Yeah, he was able to pump fake a couple of times there, and when you have that kind of time, that is outstanding. But you know, I think the Explosion may have gotten away with a little bit there.
So it's now 4th down and just about 11. Cobra's going to keep the offense out there. Trips to the left for this time. Edwards singled up. Press man coverage to the right side. Thompson and Carlisle in the backfield. Thompson might be checking off at the line. Now they'll back off a little bit. Quick 3-step drop. Got a man. Edwards wide open. Makes the catch in stride. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Cobras. They went right back to the same play with Eddie Edwards making the catch and scoring the touchdown.
Yeah, big 49-yard touchdown catch by Edwards. Now, I think they saw something on the last play where they knew that Edwards had a good matchup here on the outside and was going to be able to beat him. However, this time, let him get a little bit of a lead. Didn't wait, and that was the intention. Well, I see the officials bringing it back. Is there a flag on the play? Okay, they're going to flip sides of the field so we don't kick it into somebody's kitchen.
Brightly colored houses on that end of the field. So they will head down to the other side of the field, but 5:06 to play in this opening quarter, Jim. A big completion from Thompson to Edwards.
Yeah, and that's what we started to see the last couple of weeks, or at least the game where Dave Thompson played. And I'll tell you, Eddie Edwards did a great job last week against the Rams. For not being, his specialty, he did a really nice job. And I think it'll be ironic if the Cobras go for 2 on this. So
they're bringing Lyons out, so we'll see what they elect to do.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunity to kick this year, but we know that Lyons has a really good leg.
Wonder what they do during high school games that are played here. Do they just bring it down here?
Question. You're a little cramped here.
Or the chicken and the egg question. Which came first, the field or the houses?
I don't know. Either way, it's got to be sort of an inconvenience, but
or a great view from the second story of the house.
Yeah, you never have to buy a ticket. It's like sitting in the dog pound here in Cleveland.
Got a lot of high school stadiums in our area like that where you can get a great view from the second story of the house.
Yes, or some are surrounded by woods where you might lose a freshman or two. We had that problem.
So Lions on to attempt the extra point from the NFL distance. All the defenders kind of standing up for the Explosion. Snap, good. Gets the snap down, and the extra point, no good, off to the left. So with 5:06 to go in the opening quarter, it is the Cobras 6, the Explosion 0 here on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross and was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and it is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Keep up on everything Cobras at clevelandcobrasfootball.com.
6-0 Cobras, 5:06 to play here in the opening quarter. 49-yard touchdown completion from Thompson to Edwards. Lions' extra point was off to the left and no good. And now he will come on to kick the football away to the Explosion for their second possession of the opening quarter.
Got the Explosion. They're a little short-handed today also. But at this level, it's not unusual to be on the road and be missing a few key people.
Two returners back deep, standing in tandem at their 10-yard line. Lions high, end over end, deep kick, back to the 6, across the 10, 15, cuts back 20, outside 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, runs over a defender and gets across the 45-yard line as he had a head of steam on that return and was able to run over one of the Cobras defenders for a couple of extra yards on the return.
I want to say that was Rashawn Alston. It's hard to tell because his jersey's tucked up under his shoulder pads. So did a good job finding out that. And again, they're losing that contain on the outside, doing a good job in the interior, staying in the lanes, making sure that nothing's getting through. But a couple of Cobras had a shot at him. Brandon Davis was able to get an arm on him, but gave up the outside there. And that's what's going to let the Explosion start pretty much where they started on their first possession.
Right at the 45-yard line. 4:57 to go in this opening quarter. Explosion going into the wind, which we felt the breeze here in the press box since we got here early on in the evening. Townsend going to work out of the shotgun. He'll bring a man on late as a receiver. So he'll drop back into that shotgun formation. Receivers right and left, wing to the right side. Townsend going to roll to the outside. Now he'll run across the 45 to the 50 and go out of bounds at the Cobra 49-yard line.
That helps. That was a result of great coverage in the secondary. No options there left for the Explosion, so they had to take the ball upfield. But again, you see these slight improvements right now with the Cobras and their secondary doing a good job on that. The front four are doing a really good job. And what I'm seeing with the front four from the Cobras is they're not getting in the backfield and just running crazy. They're taking their steps in there. They're reading. They're making sure nothing's getting past them. And then Andy Coe did a nice job getting in there and putting some pressure on the quarterback.
Cloudy skies, 81 degrees here in Lakewood. We move the football back into Explosion territory, resting at the midfield stripe. 2nd down and 5. Receivers to each side. Wing now to each side of the formation as well. Townsend hands off to his running back, who's going to be drilled in the backfield and will lose a couple of yards. Abraham Addison, the tailback on that carry, had nowhere to go.
No, Robert Littlejohn coming right from a defensive end position, stepping down, closing in, wrapping him up in the backfield. Littlejohn coming off an injury from a couple weeks ago, had a rib injury, and this is his first game back. And so far, so good for him. There were some high hopes for him. He did a really good job when given the opportunity, but again, it's been a tough schedule for them all the way around. He's taken a lot of wear and tear this year.
So 3rd down, just about 7 to go for the Explosion on their second possession here of the opening quarter. 3 minutes to play. Cobras with a 6-0 lead in this first quarter of action. Explosion take their time in the huddle before they come to the line. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Receivers to each side, wings again to each side. The tailback is Addison, the quarterback Townsend. Townsend takes the snap, flag flies. He'll roll out, toss one defender away. Now he'll flip the ball over the head of Addison and incomplete. But we had a flag thrown at the beginning of this formation.
Yeah, I believe they're going to say that's going to be an encroachment against the Cobras. And that has been a huge issue for Cleveland all year long. They'll have a series of great plays, and then penalties and turnovers started to creep in. And I used the term snake bitten the last time we were together, and sometimes you felt like that.
So that 5-yard penalty makes it 3rd and 3 now for the Cobras.
Well, while they're in the huddle, a little interesting news here if you're a fan of Western Reserve Radio and the Youngstown Phantoms. Incoming Youngstown Phantom, Sean LaChance, drafted by the Edmonton Oilers tonight from the National Hockey League. So congratulations to him. You can come down and see him at the Cavelli Center or listen to us right here on Western Reserve Radio.
3rd and short, 3rd and 2. Same look, receivers right and left, wings to each side. Addison, the tailback. Townsend is the quarterback. Townsend going to keep it, turn the corner, look for the first down, hit right at the marker, was able to push the pile forward. I think he just did have enough to pick up the first down.
Yeah, design quarterback run all the way. And I'll tell you, Townsend's a big guy, strong too, not afraid to drop his shoulder. And they're going to say 4th down?
They are. It's just short. 4th and less than the length of the football. That's what I get for assuming it's a first down.
Well, it was very close. Depending on where you wanted to give him the forward progress, it could have been, but they're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
We'll see if they keep it with Townsend and just let him run the football. So 4th and less than 1. Townsend going to go under center this time. Cobras bring it up to the line of scrimmage. Townsend's going to keep the football, and he got pushed back. I don't think they got it. The initial spot looks pretty close, but they're going to say no, that this is Cobras football, and they get the hold on 4th and short.
Yeah, the head linesman came in initially. It looked like it was going to be short, and then he kind of drifted out a little bit, but the line judge came in and kind of confirmed what the head linesman had seen, and a turnover on downs for the Cobras, a great defensive stand for them.
Here the wind picking up, starting to cloud up a little bit. Lights continue to be on since early on in this one.
Yeah, if you notice, the sun going down a little bit earlier these days. Not something we like to see already.
We are, 3 weeks and change from high school football?
August 20th, right here on Western Reserve Radio. Tune in. We'll have some great news for you coming up in the next week or two as far as that schedule goes.
Twins right and left for the Cobras. Thompson out of the pistol formation. And before the snap, we've got a whistle and an explosion timeout. So the explosion take a timeout. We can take a quick one as well. We are back in 30 seconds here on Western Reserve Radio.
Miss an episode of By All Means, and you could miss a lot.
I have the sound up, and I appreciate the guys that do the work now. But it is with great appreciation I see what the guys do, not only the announcers, but also the players. So we've had wonderful playoffs. I mean, single, double, triple overtime games. It's been fantastic.
By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio and streaming live on westernreserveradio.com.
Keep up on everything Cobras at clevelandcobrasfootball.com.
So after the initial indication of a first down and what looked to be an explosion timeout, now they are considering a measurement. One of the coaches is out there for the explosion trying to get an explanation.
Yeah, he's really adamant. He wants a measurement, but I think it was the correct call on it. I think they spotted that correctly. And by the time he came out, they had already moved the sticks, so I don't think there was going to be too much that the officials were going to do from that point.
Thompson has twins to his right and left. Working out of the pistol formation with Carlisle, the tailback. Thompson takes the good snap, 3-step drop, pressured as he goes up the middle. He's going to be corralled and dropped in the backfield for about a 2-yard, make it close to a 3-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, Thompson trying to work his way up in there. Good routes out here, just good coverage by the explosion on that one. So we'll give them credit for the coverage sack on that. Thompson, not a bad runner, but not somebody you really want stepping out of the pocket. You want to give him an opportunity to get the ball down the field. Also, another update on your Imperial Glazing Concept out-of-town scoreboard. The Erie Express 16, the Pittsburgh Buccaneers 0. That game in the fourth quarter.
Down to 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that will do it after one quarter here at Lakewood Middle School. It is the Cobra 6, the Explosion 0. We're back in 1 minute on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamped colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
This is Cleveland Cobras football on Western Reserve Radio.
We flip ends of the field now. Cobras right to left on this second down and 13 as we get set to begin quarter number 2 here from a hazy, humid Lakewood Middle School, just about 80 degrees. Twins go right and left. Thompson has Carlisle to his right side. Takes the snap, turns the ball over. He's going to take a shot deep. Double coverage. Has a man out there. Makes the catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Cobras. Emmett Calhoun on the stride into the end zone for that Cobra touchdown.
Emmett's been looking for that. He's had some tough matchups in recent weeks, and unfortunately had to serve a one-game suspension last week, but that's a big way to come back for him. You could see in pregame he was very loose, having a good time. And that's 2 touchdown passes for Dave Thompson. And I believe they're going to give him credit for 54 yards on that pass. So
again, no one said there'd be math.
Emmett doing a good job just finding the seam right down the hash mark.
They initially had double coverage, and it seemed like one of the Cobra receivers kind of got taken out of the play by the second defensive back and gave Calhoun clear sailing down the field.
Yeah, and make no mistake, he can be a deep threat. I mean, he's fast. So if you give him that opportunity to get behind a defender.
Lions again on for the extra point. Snap, good. Kick on the way, knuckling towards the left, and that is no good. So with 14:51 to play in the first half, it is now the Cobras 12 and the Explosion nothing.
Yeah, and this is the biggest lead of the year for the Cobras. This game the first time was back and forth, and this is a little bit of a cleaner game. There was a combined total of 11 turnovers in that first game. It was a game of, I don't want the ball here, you take it, almost what it seemed like, but a much better game being played today.
It shows you just how much of a difference having Thompson in at quarterback. When you've got some great receivers that can get open, they can get them the football.
Oh, yeah, when you have skilled players and you have them in their proper position, so to speak, it makes a world of difference. Like I said, Eddie Edwards did a great job. Eric Wallace did a great job. I mean, for what it was worth to him. And, when you have somebody in there that this is kind of in their wheelhouse, even on, just been the last couple of weeks. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of work with these guys, but certainly can see that he's starting to develop that chemistry with the receivers.
We thank you for tuning in for Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio. You can find the video up at the Western Reserve Radio Facebook page as well. Thank you to those of you that are joining us on that feed right now as you see a little video with the play-by-play tonight.
Yeah, say hello.
Dave did.
Yeah, Dave did. We also had our friends from somewhere who were kind enough to
offer other people our feed.
So, yeah, want to thank Paul Pennington for bringing that to our attention earlier. We talked about that on the way to the stadium today. So, yeah, unauthorized feeds for the game. But I'm kind of happy. You know, they want to steal our work. Must not be too bad. I don't know if that's the way we should look at that.
And take our work and then charge you for it.
Yes. Yeah, they want to do not give them a credit card. You get this for free.
That's right. Lions to kick. 2 returners back deep for the Explosion at their 10-yard line. Another high kick. This one going to drop at the 10-yard line for the Explosion. To the 20, hesitates to the 25, turns on the speed to step through a defender. 25, 30, 35, 40. Still on his feet across the 45-yard line. And he's going to be thrown down into Cobra territory at the 49-yard line. That is great hustle by Jerron Robertson to stay with him and bring him to the turf.
Yeah, that was a little vindication for Jerron because he was the victim of the last runner for the Explosion getting run over, so he got his payback this time. But good hustle with that, and special teams have been tough for the Cobras. Again, field positioning has been a result really of just some breakdown and discipline on these special teams.
And it's been a lot of misdirection on the kick returns, play designed to go one way and then quickly cut back to the opposite side.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's a design thing that they're doing or if the returns are just reading it and going where the open area is, but the Cobras definitely on those outsides have to clamp down, and they're going to have to keep that contained because the interior of that they're doing a really good job.
So 1st and 10 for the Explosion at the Cobra 49-yard line. Receivers go to each side, wings to each side. Townsend is at the quarterback spot. Takes the snap. Going to roll out. He's going to be pressured. He's going to be sacked in the backfield back to the 45-yard line. A swarm of Cobras there in there defensively, led by number 4, Andy Code.
Yeah, also Clinton White was in on that. These two guys had a good game last week. A lot of hustle in them. And we saw, I think, especially with Clinton White, I saw a little bit different play from him last week, almost an inspired type play. And, of course, it was against a team that he used to play for. He came from over this year. I guess they use the term trade. We'll use the word trade.
That's
here,
what the league said.
With the trade for Odell Spencer, who's now with the Rams. And he's kind of taken over, I believe, the leadership role of that defense.
Loss of 6 brings up 2nd down and 16. 13:40 to play. First half, 12-0 the lead for the Cobras here at home at Lakewood Middle School. Explosion slowly making their way to the line of scrimmage. Worked out of pretty much the same formation throughout the game. Receivers right and left, wings to each side. Townsend takes the high snap, bats it to himself. He's going to be pressured in the backfield, try to turn it upfield, and now he'll just give up and go out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. And another big loss for the Cobras defense will bring up 3rd down and more than 20.
Well, if anybody knows anything about bad snaps and the center quarterback exchange, it's been the Cobras this year. However, that was the Explosion problem on that play. And Derek Glenn and Robert Littlejohn doing a good job chasing him out of bounds. It's going to be a big loss for them. That was tough to come down with that ball. It was very high, and Townsend, not a short guy.
So the Explosion will need to get to the Cobra 39-yard line for a 1st down. As they come to the line of scrimmage, as we approach just under 12 and a half minutes to play in the half. I formation, this time with a wing to the right side. Townsend goes under center. Ball is loose on the turf. They will battle for it at the 30-yard line, and that is Cobras football, our first turnover of the game, and goes in the favor of the Cobras. They'll take over inside Explosion territory.
Yeah, for the first time and not many times this year, we saw the Explosion in an I formation. You don't see that a whole lot at this level anymore, but there was a problem in there on the interior between the guards, and the ball came loose somewhere. The Cobras, the beneficiary of a turnover, and it'll be the first one of the game. And again, there was 11 in the last game, and they were nearly even, but that's a big turnover for the Cobras. That'll give them some confidence.
So they spot the ball at the 32-yard line. Wallace and Edwards going to go out to the right side. That will be Robertson and Calhoun to the left side. Thompson takes the snap, new running back in there. He's going to keep the football, just run over one of the Explosion defenders and get down to about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, they brought in Richard Carter at the running back position. I don't believe he's had a carry this year, so I don't know if they were going to buy that or not. But Dave Thompson keeping the ball. Dave's not especially a small guy either, so if he gets some momentum, you're going to want to make sure you're wrapping up the legs and not trying to go shoulder to shoulder with him.
So a gain of just about 4 brings up 2nd down and 6. It's the same tailback as you mentioned, Richard Carter to the right side of Thompson. 2 receivers go to each side of the formation, 2nd down and 6. Slot man comes in motion from right to left. That's Eddie Edwards. To give it this time to the tailback, who just hits the pile and gets stood up for little to no gain for Carter. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, that might have been one of those handoffs just to keep the defense honest. That Carter, he's looking for some carries too. This year it's been Dominic Klotman who reportedly suffered some form of a fracture in the last game, so he may be done for the year. And Jawan Carlisle has been doing a lot of the ball carrying this year, and he's back in the game now as Carter comes out.
They will do some substituting across the front of that defensive front for the Explosion. On 3rd down and just about 6. As you mentioned, Carlisle back in at the tailback spot to the right side of the quarterback, David Thompson, who has 2 receivers to each side. Thompson takes the snap, stands in the pocket. Now he'll reverse directions of the field. Has time, directing traffic. Now he's going to run with the football. Bounces off a defender inside the 20 and down to about the 17-yard line. And that's good enough for a Cobras 1st down.
And I've never really looked at Dave Thompson as the speedy, evasive kind, but did a good job on that. He had a lot of time on that play to read, was directing traffic, and finally decided to keep that himself. But it wasn't a thing of beauty, but he got it done.
Also looks like the Explosion have they were playing a lot of press coverage. Got beat a couple of times, so they've backed off a little bit on this drive.
Yeah, they're only sending 3 guys now on the blitz. You can see that they're going to start pulling an end, usually to the wide side of the field. But that's a great read, and again, a lot of time for Slap Thompson.
1st down at the Explosion 17-yard line. Carlisle, the tailback, to the right side of Thompson, who takes the snap, fakes it to Carlisle, has a man down the seam, jumps up, makes the catch. That's a touchdown. They look like Eddie Edwards again on the score for the Cobras.
Yeah, and it looked like a read option. It took his time. Thompson took his time with the ball in the belly of the running back, and that really sucked in that Explosion defense. Edwards just finding the seam down the hash marks and into the end zone. That's going to be Thompson's 3rd touchdown of the day. That's going to be, I believe it's going to be 17 yards on that one.
So they will again bring out Ben Lyons to attempt the extra point.
Well, but first you don't succeed, try again.
9:11 to play in this first half. All Cobras at this point leading at 18-0 over the Lake Erie Explosion.
Now, just a note we'll give you after this kick.
Snap, down, kick on the way, plenty of distance. This one high, arcing, and good for Lions. 9:11 to play, first half. It is the Cobras 19, the Explosion nothing. We're back after this quick break here on Western Reserve Radio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Keep up on everything Cobras at clevelandcobrasfootball.com.
(9:11) to play, first half here on Western Reserve Radio, streaming live on the Western Reserve Radio Facebook page. Or just head over to westernreserveradio.com, the Live 365 app. Tune in, Facebook, Twitter, Live. Did I get it all in, Jim? We pretty much can be found anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, just put in Western Reserve Radio and Google. Go for it. At this point, though, we're being told there's a lot of posts about some people having our game on there. They're asking for a credit card. Do not give them your credit card. Of course, you can get the game free right here, and you always will be able to. So everybody's trying to make a buck.
Everybody.
I'm trying.
How you doing?
Yeah. Right around that 35-cent mark.
Lions kick this one end over end, caught at the 10. Hesitates 15 to the 20. Now turns on the speed to the 25 to the 30. 35 across the 35 before being pushed back high. Tossed flag in the air at the end of the play as he's brought down at the 35-yard line. That had some pretty good height.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a rotator cuff injury, but he's going to say it's going to be a block in the back. Very slow developing kick return. They were very patient with it. Cobras really weren't attacking, and the Explosion really weren't trying to force it upfield, but somewhere.
That's 10 days on the IL.
That sure is. He might not be ready for high school.
So 9 minutes exactly to play here in the second quarter. And nice to see the bench and everybody having some fun tonight, Jim.
Yeah, again, it's been a trying season for the Cobras. Just that there were so many things that were going their way in the preseason and things that were set up in terms of staff and scheduling. And those things, they just didn't work out. So this has been tough for Jesse Caldwell and crew. And, at this point, you can do the best you can. Go out, enjoy playing the game, work on what you can work on. And, like I said, there's no changing right now. Everything's locked up in the GDFL, so this is the roster you're going to get.
And I think that's the big point about it. Enjoy playing the game. You got this game. We've got one more next week, and then you can start working on developing towards 2022.
Yeah, and that's always my thing with these young guys is enjoy it, because there's going to come a day when it's not going to be here, and you're going to wish that you'd have taken that moment to say, you know what, I'm just having a good time out here playing football. You want to win, you want to perform well, but sometimes circumstances are just beyond your control.
So 1st and 10 for the Explosion. At the snap, Thompson has a delayed handoff to Addison, who tried to bounce it to the outside, and he's a big back. And he's driven out of bounds by a host of Cobras defenders after a short gain, 2nd down and just about 8 to go.
Yeah, if you get in his way, you better be ready to take a shot, because he's a Jerome Bettis, I guess, type running back.
That's one thing I've really noticed, having not seen the game with you last week. A great job by this team defensively, team tackling.
Yeah, and they've done that. They've done better at that as they've gone along in the season. But one of the problems that they've had has been to contain on the outside, and that's resulted in some unnecessary yards being given up. Good initial contact most of the time, but it's been tough on those outsides, and they're doing a better job of that tonight, at least stringing out and trying to get help from their backside.
So 2nd down. We'll spot the football closer to 2nd and 7 as we approach the 8-minute mark to play here in the first half. Receivers to each side. Eye in the backfield. Offset wing to the right side of the formation for Townsend, the quarterback. Go under center. Reverses field. Still has the football. He'll get across the 30 and go out of bounds near the 33-yard line. And that'll be just shy of a Explosion first down, bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if that was a miscommunication. It looked like he was looking for a running back, but booted out to the far side there, was able to get upfield. Robert Littlejohn chasing him out of bounds.
So 3rd down, long 2 to play. 7.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll do our best to get you caught up with some scores around the GDFL. We'll get you a Indians score at home against the Rays.
Can we still call them that?
A team that changed their name, playing a team that's going to change their name. Who knew?
Well, the only thing for certain around here is nothing is certain.
3rd down, Just about 3 to go. Townsend goes under center. Cobra showing pressure up the middle. Give it to the running back. Ball flipped back to one of the receivers with Townsend blocking for him, and he is going to be brought down shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down and a long 3 to go, as that play was broken from pretty much jump.
Yeah, a little improvisation there. 5 or 6 Cobras at the line. They're coming through there. Just too much pressure, and they tried to get the ball to somebody to the outside. Ended up being able to do that, but nonetheless, that's going to bring up 4th and 3, I believe, for the Explosion.
I don't believe we've seen a punt yet, have we?
I don't. I think you're right. If we have caught me off guard there, we have to think about that one. But we did see one. I'm sorry, the Explosion did kick
on their opening possession, right?
Okay, we'll get it right.
So they will kick it away again with a single returner back deep. Now they'll drop a second returner. Both back to about the 40-yard line. Looping snap, rush on, kick. Wobbly end over end, and it's going to go out of bounds near the, let's see where they're going to spot this, at the 47-yard line. That is where the Cobras will take over. 5:45 to go here in the half, Jim. A chance to add to their 19-point lead.
Yeah, and that was probably the best thing that could happen for the Explosion was the ball going out of bounds. As you can see, they're going to be short-handed today, and right now the cardio is going to get tested here as we get towards halftime, and they have an entire second half to go.
So the Cobras will take over possession of the football right to left here in this second quarter. Cobras will finish up the regular season against the Columbus Fire, who last report had a 10-point lead on the Pittsburgh Saints in the third quarter.
Yeah,
Big year for the Fire.
No further update on that one. And still looks like a 16-0 lead for the Wildcats over the Pittsburgh Buccaneers. Very tough team in that Buccaneers. I take that back. Give you after this play, we'll give you another Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard.
Thompson hands off to the running back. New ball carrier's in there who twists his way upfield, spins his way for a short gain. That looks like at that 7, that's King Todd on the carry.
Yeah, not a bad run there. Made initial contact, a little breakdown on the left side of the line there, but was able to drop his shoulder and move his feet, and he was able to pick up 2 yards on that.
2nd down and 8. We approach 5 minutes to play in the half. Here on Western Reserve Radio and on the Western Reserve Facebook page, streaming live. Thompson pulls it down, flips it out into the flat, just a little too much on that throw, and incomplete. It looked like that was trying to go to Eddie Edwards, who couldn't corral the fastball.
And that wasn't the worst thing that could have happened there. You had already had a defender in his face. So by dropping the ball, at least it's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And we'll give you an update on your Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard. The Erie Express take a 22-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Buccaneers. And again, a very tough Buccaneers team. They'll give you a run for your money. And that was your scoreboard update brought to you by Imperial Glazing Concepts. Imperial Glazing Concepts specializes in aluminum storefronts, curtain walls, doors, windows, composite panels, glass awnings, and point-supported glass systems. For a free estimate, call 330-652-6277 right there in Niles, Ohio.
You're going to give those speed reading guys a run for their money. That's impressive.
I should pre-record that and just hit the button.
You could. Thompson bobbles the snap. Loose ball on the turf. He'll just fall on it back at the 41-yard line to maintain possession, and it will bring up a 4th down and long.
Yeah, we'll see if we get our first punt of the night. And again, this is the part that has come back to haunt the Cobras, is that center quarterback exchange. Even with Dave Thompson in there, and it just hasn't been crisp, and that has thrown off the timing of so many plays.
Brings up the question: what do you do here? You've got a comfortable 19-point lead, but it's also 4th and.
Well, I guess if I was Jesse Caldwell, I'd go for it, but it looks like they're going right to the line. So he gave it away before I could answer it.
Thompson takes the snap. He's going to throw it. He's got all kinds of time. Going to go deep. Has 2 receivers out there. Receiver, all kinds of contact at the 15-yard line, and that's going to be an easy pass interference penalty.
Yeah, there was all kind of contact. There were Jawan Carlisle on the pattern, just downfield. Had everybody beat for the most part. The ball was a little bit short. He had to turn around. And it ended up making contact, or I'll say the defender ended up making contact with him. And that's going to give him a first down, I believe, at the 15-yard line.
So you love the aggressive play call here.
Yeah, you know what? At this point, you're up at 18-0. You're 3 minutes from the half. I mean, it's at this point, give the guys a shot. I mean, they're having fun. They're clicking right now. Thompson's doing a good job finding the receivers, and the receivers are doing a good job getting open. So, I mean,
and you've learned early on in this game, your receivers, you have a speed advantage on the defensive backs on the outside.
Oh, yeah. We've seen where they look like they were trying to get the one-on-one matchups with Calhoun on the outside and, whether it be Eric Wallace or Eddie Edwards.
Two receivers go to each side. Thompson takes the snap of the football, swings it out in the flat. Calhoun makes the catch, but he had a knee on the ground. They're going to say he was down when he caught the football, and they're going to back it up a couple of yards.
And we're going to call that an inadvertent whistle on the part of the line judge. NFL rules allow you to have contact with the ground, but they can either have the result of the play or they can have the play over. And it looks like they're just going to say he was down there. I think that's going to be an incorrect call. That was an inadvertent whistle by the officials.
That almost feels like a crew that's familiar with the high school rule and not the NFL rule.
Yeah, these are all OHSAA officials, so make no mistake. There's going to be issues like this. I mean, I've been in this position myself. I understand that. Instinctually, you do things. But in this position, I think I would give them the down over again because of the inadvertent whistle, which would then make it 1st and 10 again as opposed to second and 13. Mm-hmm. And I can see why Emma Calhoun's so upset, but you're up 18-0. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it is going to be 2nd and 13. Thompson takes the snap. Looking inside, and the receiver was broken up with the football. No flag. That looked to be timed up pretty close.
Yeah, I think it was going to be good defense on the part of the explosion. When you're in that pattern, you're in that slant, you're in front of the safety, but you're behind the linebackers. There's some contact there. Sometimes you feel like it was too quick, but
that's the area where the men play, in that spot right there where you're not afraid to give or get hit.
And that's why the guys in the NFL make the big bucks to do that job, because I sure wouldn't want it.
Nope. Like I told Jesse, announcer, punter, I got you covered. Anything else? No, thank you.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's I had a coach that say, you see guys licking their chops when you have a receiver coming across like that. But it wasn't a big collision. I guess he could have taken a harder shot at him, but didn't.
So 3rd down, 13. We are under 2 minutes to play. Clock stopped at 1:57. And we've got a small huddle of officials, 3 of them together over the football.
Yeah, and now you're looking at 3rd and 13. You go back to the first down play with the officials and what that did with Calhoun getting up and trying to run the ball again and them killing the play. So you're playing from behind the sticks based on an official's mistake, and you hate to see that, although it does happen, and that's just part of the game.
So 3rd and 13. 2 receivers go to each side. Carlisle to the left of Thompson, who points out a potentially blitzing linebacker. Takes the snap. They pick it up. Swing it to the Carlisle in the flat across the 20. 15 tiptoes down the sidelines to about the 12-yard line before going out of bounds. And he's had a big first half.
Yeah, he's done a really good job here running the ball and catching. Looks like thought we lost him in the stands there for a moment. Just came back.
And that spin took him past the soccer marks and towards the bench.
And another update from your Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard. I believe it's going to be right if it's up there. The Cleveland Rams 22, the Ohio Elite Outlaws 0. I believe that's going to be a final.
Rams have had a nice year.
Indeed, they have. They are a physical team, great skill players, and the Lions have done a great job for them too. So once you put that combination together, a lot of good things come your way.
4th and just about 9 yards to go after that 4-yard pickup on the reception by Juan Carlisle. Trips to the left, single receiver to the outside. Thompson looking that way, going to go across the middle, timing just a hair off, looking for Emmett Calhoun. And the incompletion turns the ball over on downs.
Yeah, Calhoun and Jerron Robertson both seem to be running in the same route. Calhoun was running it a little bit deeper. I don't know who really that was intended for, but definitely overthrown and out of bounds or out of the back of the end zone.
So the Explosion take over with 1:46 to play in the half, trailing the Cobras 19-0 here in the first half. It's been a big first half for David Thompson. Touchdowns of 49, 54, and 19 yards.
Yeah, great production from the quarterback position today, and that's what they've needed all year long. And I think Dave Duncan checking in, a former Cleveland Cobra, wants to know if they're playing in the old snake pit. Yes, indeed. Dave Duncan, former Cleveland Cobra and Predator, one of East Cleveland's finest.
So I believe we had a timeout used by the Explosion to get everybody on the same page at 1:46 to play. And you wonder, do you be aggressive this far in your own territory, or is this where you may just want to be comfortable with running out the clock and heading into halftime?
No, I think they're going to take a shot at this. I mean, again, so many things have gone wrong this year. When you got the hot hand, go for it. We don't know what the second half is going to bring. Things change a lot at that point after that short break, but I know the Cobras want to take advantage of everything they can.
We've also got the official talking with one of the photographers on the sidelines. I don't know what that was about, but it looks like we're ready to play some football finally.
She probably wants to know why he blew that whistle.
Probably wants his picture taken. So there's the whistle to get back to play. Townsend's gone all the way at quarterback for the Explosion here tonight. He'll have two receivers in the formation. Blitz coming from the outside. Thompson is going to just keep it now, flip it to his running back, and he'll have a first down as he picks up 11 on a little pitch to the outside for an Explosion first down. And
yep, Cobras are going to take a timeout. They ran the same play the Cobras have run, that option to the outside, and they kind of said, you know what, let us take a shot at that, and not a bad job.
As we hit the top of the 8 o'clock hour, Western Reserve Radio, WRDB The Scourge, Mark Baines, Jim Craven, Dave Ferris back at our Western Reserve Radio studios in Struthers, Ohio. It has been all Cobras so far on this one, Jim, 19-0.
Yeah, we haven't been able to say that a whole lot here this year, so it's good to see for them. Again, it gives these young men some confidence. And, I talked to Jesse 100 times this year, and, he talks about the youth of the roster and the fact that, the average experience is 1 to 2 years on this roster. So hopefully maybe he's coaching the next generation of guys who are going to step up at this level. And I think they're learning a lot of respect for this level right now. Again, you really can't appreciate the speed and the collisions in this game. It's I want to say it's as violent as you can get here, and it takes some time to adjust to.
And you look at the division that the Cobras are in this year, and it's all great football teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've got teams like, like the Columbus Fire in there, and you've had to play the Erie Express. So the Cobras and the Explosion in that same, that same predicament. But, there's two things that happen here. You either fold up and walk away or you get better. And right now I see the Cobras getting better. And the Explosion, we had the opportunity to see them play at Elyria, and they have a great setup. So I hope they stick with it and become one of the premier teams.
1st and 10 with the football at the 24-yard line for the Explosion. Townsend going to work out of a pistol formation. 2 receivers, 2 wings in that formation. Takes the snap. 3-step drop. Going to step into a deep throw. Downfield. Intercepted by Eddie Edwards right at about the 36-yard line. So give Eddie the interception and the touchdown.
Yeah, it almost looked like Edwards was running the pass pattern.
That might have been 2. That might have been Craig Williams, on the interception, 2.
Yeah, again, a little bit hard for us to see sometimes. I think you're going to be right. Sorry, Craig, but it looked like he was the one running the pattern and got up under the ball. So the minute 26 here, might get another shot at this.
Well, they've shown they've got the ability to throw the football down the field. Scoring plays, 2 plays of 49 yards or more for 2 of their 3 touchdowns.
Shout out to Damon Ivory watching the game. Can't talk about Cleveland Cobras football without Damon Ivory. Be better if they were here, but glad they're tuning in.
Part of the action.
Absolutely.
From Lakewood Middle School, you see the purple and yellow L in the middle of the field if you're watching on the Facebook Live feed. Two receivers to one side, one to the other. Going to turn, toss it again to Carlisle, trying to get to the edge, and he is hammered out of bounds. Just across the 40-yard line. Got up a little slow, but he bounced back up and headed to the sidelines.
Yeah, took a shot in the hip. I was a little worried he wasn't going to get up from that, but it appears that he's going to bounce back up. Certainly not going to let somebody take him down like that.
So 1:21 to play here in the half. Cobras break the formation. They'll come to the line of scrimmage. Thompson back to throw. Going to take a look downfield. Has a man out there. Turns around, makes the catch, and driven out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Opposite play on the other side of the field. Hard to get a number on that catch. But good for another big gain for the Cobras with 1:12 to play in the half.
I believe that was going to be Eddie Edwards on the catch there. And that was a wrinkle to that option. They were setting that up with that instead of running the option. Kind of good little pump fake like he was going to throw it out to Carlisle and then step back and threw the pass. So, again, we're starting to see a couple of different wrinkles and things from the Cobras.
We approach a minute to play in the first half. Thompson swings the ball out. Calhoun makes the catch, trying to make that defender miss. He got just enough of him to knock him down at the 11-yard line, at the 16-yard line. George Townsend there to make the play defensively.
Yeah, Calhoun trying to find some open field there.
.35 seconds to go here in the half. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Going to swing it into the flat. Had a man out there and just too far out in front of Jaron Robinson. Incomplete. But that incompletion stops the clock with 30 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, Jaron Robinson was just running a quick out there, tried to get down the 15-yard line. Trying to work it laterally. Didn't get his head around quick enough to see the play developing, and then Thompson just threw too far in front of him. Nice design of a play, though.
So 31 seconds to go. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Now we've got a timeout. Chance to get hydrated. It's been in the low 80s since we got here this afternoon at Lakewood Middle School. Chance for the Cobras to kind of design exactly what they want to do with second down and long coming up and 31 seconds to play in this first half.
Yeah, and again, it hasn't been a really hot night. This hasn't been one of those typical summer nights, but nonetheless, better be in pretty good shape this time of year to kind of work through this heat.
So off the timeout, it will be third down, just about 8 to go. Thompson going to empty the backfield this time, put 2 receivers to the right side, stack 2 to the left, put Carlisle in the slot. Really trying to spread out the explosion. Thompson's going to keep the football. Made the first defender miss. Dives down to about the 10-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down. 3 to go, and we're down to 19 seconds in the half before the Cobras use another timeout.
Yeah, they want to put some more points up on the board. So they want to reset the clock to 22 seconds. Give them those extra 3 seconds. And that should be the last timeout for the Cobras.
4-1 Tampa Bay leading the Indians early on in that one. They've struggled coming out of the break.
The team formerly known as the Indians, right?
There's no till the end of this year. Then the switch happens.
It's going to take a while to get used to.
You know, I'll get to this discussion at halftime. But because of this, unless it happens this year, I will never experience the Indians winning a World Series.
No. And unless you were born in the 50s, you haven't
Most
seen
people
one either.
haven't.
Or the 40s or...
What, 1948?
Was that? Okay.
They lost in 54.
That's the one I was thinking. It was 54.
Vic Wirtz making the catch off of Vic Wirtz. Down the seam, behind the receiver, caught for a Cobra touchdown. Right on the hip, a nice throw by Thompson for the Cobra touchdown.
Yeah, Eric Wallace on the catch there, looking like he was trying to run a post pattern. Just found the seam between the corner, the linebackers, and the safeties. And he had to fight for that one there. Physically had to go in there and grab it and pull it in. And the Cobras make use of their last timeout. They take a 25-0 lead on a 7 or an 8 yard touchdown pass. And for you watching on the video, we apologize. Kind of lost the battery on this one. We'll get that little break here at halftime, maybe bring you back in the third quarter. But, of course, you can always tune in to our same Facebook account or westernreserveradio.com or the Live 365 network or TuneIn or maybe some YouTube.
All kinds of things.
I'm telling you, we're everywhere.
So they will line up and attempt the extra point. Lions, 1 of 3 so far on the evening. Into a pretty good breeze all of a sudden as well. Snap a little off, gets the kick down, and the extra point is right down the middle and good this time. So with 16 seconds to go here in the first half, it is a 26-0 lead for the Cobras.
Yep, and that's going to make them feel pretty good going into halftime here. Get some rest, come out in the second half, work on some things. And, again, they're playing the Columbus Fire next week. This is going to be, something that's going to give them a little bit of confidence. With Thompson in there, they know they can do certain things. And I'm sure they want to see if they can do that against the better teams like the Fire.
They're able to take advantage of some of the matchups that they have on the outside, moving Wallace back to receiver. And guys like Calhoun, Carlisle, use the speed that this team has got on the edge.
Yeah, and this is something that they haven't been able to do all year. Again, you started with the center quarterback exchanges, disrupting the play, slowing things down, penalties, turnovers. It's just been one thing after another. And I give so much credit to the Cobras for hanging in this year. They knew the situation, and their core has really been here and done a great job.
So Lions will kick the ball away. 16 seconds remaining in the half. Ball comes off the tee. So they will reset to kick the ball away. Two returners back deep at the 10-yard line for the explosion. Little pop-up kick is going to be fielded at one of the explosion players at about the 38-yard line. Did a good job to get his arms around it and just maintain possession of the football.
Yeah, he's not a normal returner. Grab that ball, went right to the ground, is going to make sure they maintain it. But with no timeouts here left in the first half, probably not going to get much done with 15
seconds. Have you been in that situation before, one of those up guys that don't normally handle the football unless you're snapping it?
I've been that up guy that unfortunately had to grab the ball, and it was, you're
I
looking
couldn't
up.
get my arm up fast enough to wave.
Yeah, you know what? It was one of the situations you're looking up into the sun. You can barely see the ball, and you're like, uh-oh. So, yeah, it's a precarious position. You just want to hold on to it. You don't want to be the guy to give it up. Definitely the breeze picking up. It's not as overcast as it was earlier, but a great night here in Lakewood.
Yeah, I don't think you could ask for more in late July. As you mentioned, a familiar home to Cobras fans playing here at Lakewood Middle School.
Yeah, affectionately known as the Snake Pit.
Townsend, 2 wings, 2 receivers in the formation. Wing goes in motion, and someone got a bit of a head start. That procedure penalty going to back them up 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
And that's going to be the first procedure penalty on either team tonight. I believe. I know the Cobras had an encroachment once, but I don't believe there's been any offsides.
I think that's only, the second or third penalty in the game.
Yeah, it's been a complete turnaround from the first meeting with the turnovers and the penalties. This time, a much more well-played game.
And that shows, good practice, good coaching, and development of the team as the year goes along.
Yeah, and this is what they've been looking for. They got one more time to show it this year and get into the offseason, start putting things together. And I know Jesse Caldwell will be right on top of it, working on things as we speak.
So 14 seconds to go. 1st and 15 here in the first half. Townsend gets the play call from the far sidelines.
The wind really whipping around this press box now. You can hear it in the mics.
I might have opened too many windows.
They'll never blame me for that.
No, not those.
I couldn't reach them.
Townsend up to the line of scrimmage, talking to one of the wings, making sure they've got the protections right on 1st and 15. He'll let that wing take downfield deep. The ball was behind him. He made a nice catch from behind across the 40 down to the 42-yard line. And that was a 45. That's John Michael on the reception.
Yeah, 2 seconds left here. I didn't think that the Explosion had any more timeouts. So either they got a 4th one or I was incorrect, which either one's possible at this point.
John Michael, not the Cavs announcer, making that catch.
No. Former, matter of fact, we had the opportunity to meet him.
We did.
That's right, yeah.
A couple years ago.
State meetings.
The OHSAA high school sports announcers meeting. Hopefully we'll have that back soon.
Yep, very excited for him. Went from doing the radio broadcast to the TV broadcast, I believe.
He actually came from the Blue Jackets TV broadcast.
Yes.
To the Cavs radio booth, to the Cavs TV booth.
Yeah, under some unfortunate circumstances,
right,
but glad to have him. Jesse Caldwell casually making his way out to talk to the umpire. I'm not real sure why. I think he wants to talk to some of the players about their uniforms. I think he just said, I like you. That's just it. Just went out to say hi.
You are playing very well tonight. We are friends. I am not mad at you, despite my hand waving.
It's easy to be in a good mood when you're up 26-0.
Sure is. Makes halftime better, makes the drive home better. So 2nd down and just about 6 for the Explosion. Final play of the half. Going to take a time, going to be hit as he's thrown. The ball up for grabs, intercepted by the Cobras at the 25-yard line. And that'll do it for the first half. At the break is your Cleveland Cobras 26, the Lake Erie Explosion 0. We're back in 2 minutes on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross and was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and it is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org. Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamp-colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Miss an episode of By All Means, and you could miss a lot.
I have the sound up, and I appreciate the guys that do the work now. But it is with great appreciation I see what the guys do, not only the announcers, but also the players. So we've had wonderful playoffs. I mean, single, double, triple overtime games. It's been fantastic.
By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio and streaming live on westernreserveradio.com.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
This is the Cleveland Cobras Football Network on Western Reserve Radio.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back here at Lakewood Middle School, the things we talk about at halftime, the world may never know. It has been all Cobras here in the first half, a 26-0 lead over the Lake Erie Explosion. 5:06 of the opening quarter. It was Thompson to Edwards from 49 yards out. The extra point by Lyons was no good, and it was an early 6-0 lead for the Cobras. 3 scores put up by Thompson, 3 touchdown passes all in that second quarter, 14:51 of the second quarter. Thompson to Emmett Calhoun from 54 yards out. The Lions' extra point was no good, a 12-0 lead for the Cobras. On the ensuing possession at the 9:11 mark of the first half, Thompson to Edwards for a second time. This one from 17 yards out. The extra point by Lyons was good. A 19-0 lead for the Cobras. And then with just 16 seconds to go in the half, Thompson's 4th touchdown pass of the first half. This one to Wallace from 10 yards out. The extra point by Lyons was good. And that gets you to our halftime score of the Cobras 26. The Lake Erie Explosion 0. We'll take another 2-minute timeout, come back and continue here at halftime on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross and was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and it is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org. Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamped colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodSwimandTennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Listen to Grove City College football all season long right here on Western Reserve Radio.
Play action for East with time down the field. Got him in stride. That's Briggs. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Cameron Briggs. Give it to Schools across the 50, 45, 40. He's gone. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wesley Schools.
Listen to head coach Andrew DiDonato and the Grove City College Wolverines all year long right here on Western Reserve Radio.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Wrapping up halftime here on Western Reserve Radio. We greet you back at Lakewood Middle School in Lakewood, Ohio, as we've been working on getting the Facebook feed back up. We do apologize. Had a little bit of a charging issue that I believe the technical staff on site has remedied.
I don't know about that. It may last, it may not. We'll go with that. There's always a second feed there on Western Reserve. Our audio feed is everywhere. So this is just a little addition so that you can kind of see what's going on, see all the Cobras having a ball.
Cobras will get the football to begin the third quarter here, too.
Yes, everything going their way so far tonight. And I haven't been able to say that many times this year, but we're excited to say they're up 26-0 here with 1 half left to play.
Which has been a huge half for David Thompson with 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, that's been absolutely amazing. He's been finding wide open receivers everywhere, but they've had the ability to show their speed tonight, getting behind the defenders. And that's just made a huge difference. The offensive line's done a really good job giving Dave a lot of time to throw.
So we are getting set for the third quarter here on Western Reserve Radio. This is probably the time, Jim, where I would promote who's going to be on By All Means on Tuesday. But to be honest with you, I don't know yet.
It'll be a surprise to everybody.
For everyone. But make sure to tune in Tuesday night, 5 to 6 o'clock, right here on Western Reserve Radio. We will have, I assume we will have a high school football coach. Don't know who that's going to be just yet.
A lot of great programs in the Valley, and everybody's getting excited about the season coming up. Of course, we had Pat Pearson last Tuesday from Girard High School, they've had a lot of successful seasons recently. And hopefully maybe Monday we can get some clarification on what's going to happen in our first couple of weeks, and we can make some announcements and have some fun with that.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm maybe looking forward to it?
No, I mean, we might be able to do it. I don't know. We'll make it up as we go along.
I was confused for a moment there, but
welcome to my world.
I have a joke. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to say we're underway in the third quarter. Line drive kick is going to be caught, then handed back to one of the up men who gets across the 30 to the 35, flag at the 40, another flag across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and that was King Todd on the return for the Cobras.
I don't know what the call is in there. All I saw was Todd in there. Maybe a face mask. We'll see. We can get a call from referee. Oh, an illegal block in the back by the Cobras, which, quite frankly, I didn't see.
So that will back them up off the return. We would have had them around the 40-yard line, but this is going to pin them back to the 30, where they will have it first down and 10. Cobras left to right here in the third quarter.
Well, Cobras will take over here, and still not bad field position for them. But again, you can play a little bit more relaxed, and the playbook opens up a whole lot more when you've got a 26-point lead.
Thompson, the quarterback. Carlisle is the running back. Twins go to each side of the formation. First play from scrimmage here in tonight's third quarter. Thompson takes the snap, turns it upfield, pitches it, and the loose ball is fumbled forward and out of bounds, so they will mark that ball back. And it will bring up a second down and long.
Yeah, a little bit of a timing issue. That Sturba was pulling on the offensive line for that. Looked like he got a little bit into the path between Thompson and Carlisle. And Carlisle wasn't able to bring that in, but nonetheless going to bring up second down for him.
Clock will continue to roll at 14:23 to go here in the third quarter. Cobras can take a little extra time coming in and out of the huddle with a 26-point lead.
Yeah, you want to eat up some clock here, and you want to get out of here without any injuries.
Two receivers go to each side, Thompson and Carlisle in the backfield. The give to Carlisle, who gives it now back into the hands of Robertson, who tries to turn the corner, and the explosion do a good job to stay home and contain that play.
Yeah, that was the first reverse that we've seen all year long from the Cobras. And Eric Wallace, I mean, whoa.
It's a nice block.
He had a little meeting. I believe that was Jacob Furness, who's, I think he's still trying to find himself on the field here. Furness, one of the linebackers. Eric Wallace, not exactly a small receiver, but he put his shoulder into him and put him on his back. So contact being had here.
Wow, that's GDFL football right there.
That is a prime example. You can hear that plastic cracking.
It's third down and 7 for the Cobras. Two receivers go to each side. Thompson overlooking the Explosion defense. Linebacker creeping in from the outside. Now he'll drop back into coverage. Fake the toss. Pump. Thompson had Wallace out in the flat on a wheel route and just underthrew him. Incomplete. Would have had the first down, but it brings up 4th down and 7.
Carlisle made it out to the Cobras 40-yard line, and his feet came out from under him. He tried to come back for the ball, almost brought it in, and just didn't have the arm length to bring it in. So
I think the Turf Monster won that one.
Yeah, I sure did. You know, I don't know why his feet are sliding like that. You know, wearing sandals, and there's a joke to go in there with Dame Ivory if you ever ask him about wearing sandals.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, it's a part of Cobra's lore around here. So,
how does that monster make it from football field to make plays like that?
He's tenacious, I'll tell you.
So it is 4th down and 7. It looks like the Cobras are going to go for it here on 4th down. 2 to each side. Thompson takes the snap, has a nice pocket to work with. Going to take a shot downfield. 2 receivers out there, and they were both there for the football. Neither one of them could make the play. And we had some route confusion with the 2 receivers, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's going to be Eddie Edwards, and I believe that's going to be John Jacobs out there. They were in the same area. Jacobs gave Edwards the LeBron look, you know, like, what are you doing? Why are you here? So if that's the worst thing that happens to them tonight, you know, with a 26-point lead, I guess you're doing okay.
Yeah, you had to figure out for a moment who LeBron was and who was J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I think that Edwards was assuming the role of J.R. Smith, you know. Wish we had a picture of that.
Every time I think of him, I just remember JR in that championship season. Never had a shirt on. Just never.
You know what, though? If I had a body like that, I wouldn't wear a shirt either.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Turnover on downs gives the ball back to the Explosion. 12:49 to play, 3rd quarter. 26-0 Cobras. Explosion will have their best field position of the game based on that turnover on downs.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do something with it. It's been a tough night all the way around.
A couple of extra players trying to hustle their way off the field. Now, too many came off and have time to readjust at the linebacker position.
And there's a problem with the formation and the number of players. You can see the back official giving a thumbs down.
And there's definitely a new player in at quarterback wearing 58 for the Explosion. And 58.
Yeah, that's going to be Raven Moss. He did spend some time at quarterback, made the changed the numbers too. But he's been on the roster all year for Lake Erie. And
so I wonder if something happened to George Townsend.
And I thought there was going to be a flag on her. Again, the back judge gave the thumbs down on the formation. But whatever it was, the team must have rectified that problem.
I will say this is the first time I've seen a 58 play quarterback.
Oh, Raven Moss had played some quarterback and was wearing a different number, made a position adjustment, went to the defense. And now
back at quarterback.
It looks a little strange, but
2nd down and a long 12 for the Explosion. Moss takes the snap as the flag flies. He'll hand off to the tailback, and he is going to be stood up in the backfield and pushed back after a loss of a couple. We'll have to sort out the penalties as a couple flags flew. Looks like there might have been is it illegal pursuit? Yeah, it's going to go on the Cobras.
Yeah, Robert Littlejohn absolutely came across early, no question about it. Made a great tackle, but he also had the advantage of about a full second head start. So they let the play go. That'll be a free 5 for the Explosion.
So wipe that play out, bring up 2nd down and 9. 11:15 to play, clock rolling, 3rd quarter, 26-0 Cobras as the wind definitely continues to be a factor as the Explosion go into the wind here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the Explosion just looking to get in the end zone right now, put some points up. a little bit of a pride thing, and they come in extremely short-handed after a very tough season.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right side. Moss takes the snap, corrals it with the one hand, going to go underneath, incomplete, looking for one of his wings cutting across the formation. That pass was incomplete. Looking for Robert Demelwick, the tight end, and that fell incomplete.
Yeah, Craig Williams was out there. If he just one more second had recognized where that ball was going, he may have had 6 the other way, and he knows it. And an update now from your Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard. It is final. The Erie Express 28, the Pittsburgh Buccaneers 0. Express get the shutout and continue their march towards the playoffs.
That may be one of the better Erie teams we've seen in the last few years.
Yeah, the depth there is absolutely incredible. We've seen several times where games were out of hand, and you could see second and third players in there, and there just really wasn't any drop-off in the play.
So 3rd down and 9. You can hear one of the defenders saying, watch the reverse. Twin receivers to each side. Moss, that's all kinds of movement up front, and this one might go on the explosion. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Robert Demelwick jumped. He was going to be the one to initiate the movement. And I believe that Craig Williams is going to absolutely agree with me.
So a lot of Cobras players really enjoyed that penalty call.
Yeah, they sure did, because they've had their share of them this year. It's one of those things, just glad it's not me.
So this will now bring up 3rd and 14 for the explosion. And what's been a fairly clean played game. There's been 2 turnovers, but not a high amount of penalties.
Yeah, this is a completely different game than what we saw the last time. I mean, it's in terms of penalties, turnovers, just execution overall. So more so for the Cobras than the explosion, but a lot of maturity you can see developing week after week.
Now you mentioned those numbers for the explosion. You look across the way, and with the 11 on the field, there's probably 6 or 7 on that sideline. So they have gotten off to a tough start, but as you mentioned, they put on quite a production at home and looking to continue to grow.
Yeah, I've been in that situation. It's tough. I mean, you want to fulfill the obligation, but it's hard to expect to come in here with 18, 19 players and take on a team, that can substitute regularly and has a little bit more depth than you do.
So 3rd down, 14 to go for the explosion. Takes the snap, stands in, going to go underneath, short arms to throw, incomplete as quarterback went flying as he took a hit from Andy Code. And that'll bring up 4th down and 14.
I'm not sure there wasn't a little embellishment on that hit.
What, the flop across the field?
Yeah.
The open arms?
Raven Moss is not a small guy.
No.
So I don't know if Andy Cohen was going to be able to really get that kind of dynamic hit on him, but give him an A for effort, trying to draw the flag.
So 4th and 14, and the explosion got to keep the offense out there. As we go under 8 minutes to play, what's been a fast 3rd quarter with no scoring so far.
Yeah, not from a lack of effort, though. I think the Cobras, they want to get in the end zone a couple more times. And I think this defense, after last week and the way that they played so well against the Rams, they would love to walk out of here with the shutout.
So they will punt the football away on 4th and 14 and try to pin the Cobras back deep. High snap. Moss going to throw it, and that's going to fall incomplete, go way out of bounds, and be a turnover on downs for the Express, and the Cobras will get the football back.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the intention was there. Looked like he threw it right to the sideline. Maybe he was anticipating somebody being there, but not even close.
I mean, at that point, there was nobody available, eligible at a receiver position to try to make a play on that football.
Well, it looked like almost intentionally just throwing it. You've been better off punting it. Not on the same page, obviously.
Temperature continues to drop. It's almost gotten comfortable with the breeze.
Yeah, certainly up here, a little bit higher. We're a little bit higher than the field, but
you can see in the treetops it's been a pretty steady breeze all day.
Yeah, gorgeous night up here in the Cleveland area. A lot of things going on up here in Cleveland. A lot of exciting things. The entire draft class for the Cleveland Browns has been signed as of today.
Yep.
Cleveland Indians with a new name.
Yeah, there is that.
May have heard.
Training camp opens for the Browns next week. Not that we're excited about that at all.
Not at all.
So the Cobras take over. First down and 10. 3 receivers go to the right side. Thompson going to throw it. He's going to be pressured, avoids the initial rush, and then he's going to go down after a whistle finally blows at about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, just no protection up front that time. Very porous offensive line on that play, and there was just nowhere for him to go. Dave tried to step up in the pocket, tried to make something happen, but the officials had seen enough and blew the whistle.
So second down and long now coming up for your Cobras. Home next week, right back here at Lakewood Middle School to take on the 5-0 and potentially 6-0 Columbus Fire. We haven't been able to get an update on that one.
No updates as they take on the Pittsburgh Saints. But, again, you got to be impressed with that team.
Cobras play the Fire next week. The Explosion finish out with the Fire in 2 weeks. Thompson takes the snap, fakes the option. He's going to keep it and get across the 40, 45, and he's going to be close to and might have a Cobra first down depending on the spot.
And did a great job on that. Excellent read. Saw that the pitchman on the outside had too many people around him, was able to find the lane, get upfield, and get a first down for the Cobras to extend the drive.
I like that wrinkle into the offense tonight.
Yeah, it's really worked for them. Obviously they saw something in the last film, and they added that, and this is kind of an expansion on the Jerry Minnesali offense.
When you see a team that's young and maybe overly aggressive, you can take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, and these guys want to make plays. They want to get to that point of attack, but sometimes it's too fast or not disciplined, and I think the Cobras are taking advantage of that now.
So first and 10 for the Cobras at the 47-yard line. Thompson takes the snap. He's going to run it again. This time pulled down from behind, just shy of the 50, down to the 49-yard line. He'll pick up 2, second down and 8.
Yeah, and even though when they know it's coming now, they're still picking up 3 yards at a time on it. And you're more than willing to take that, to chip away at that. You give me 3.5 yards every play, and you're going to have a very time-consuming drive.
Down under 5 minutes to play here in this third quarter. Cobras maintaining possession of the football, working some clock here in the latter stages of the third.
Yeah, this is a situation that they wanted to be in more this year. They just really haven't been. And Eddie Edwards coming off the field now. I'll let some of the other guys in to get a little time.
2 receivers to the right, stack 2 to the left side. Thompson waiting for the football, takes the low snap, pulls it down, fires downfield, and just a little too far out in front of Robertson and incomplete. Going to bring up third down and 8.
Oh, you can see the Explosion are really looking for that option right now. They're kind of freezing up a little bit. But Dave sometimes is taking that step back, and then he's able to throw the ball. You're just finding that somewhere out in the flats in that gap.
Is there an opportunity then to maybe take another shot deep here?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you can get the one-on-one matchups, and I don't even know if that's a concern because they've absolutely just been beating them deep tonight. I'm sure that Thompson will want to take a few more shots there. What quarterback wouldn't?
Have never met a quarterback that doesn't like taking the ball and taking a shot downfield.
We can do it, Coach. We can do it.
He'll be open. Trust me.
Famous last words.
Third down and 7. Going to bring a slot man in motion. Fake the pitch to him. Thompson avoids the rush. Going to take a shot deep. downfield, and that was covered well defensively by the Explosion, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, Robert Demoweek had the inside coverage on, I believe that was going to be Craig Williams out there, number 2 on the pattern, but he was able to get on the inside, take the lane away from him, and probably not the most accurate throw either. So in that combination, there was that deep shot you were just talking about, though.
3:30 to play in the third quarter. Threes everywhere. Cobra's going to send 2 receivers split to the right. Split another 2 to the short side on the left. Now they'll have a 3rd receiver in that slot to the right side closest to the formation. Thompson to throw. With time, middle, has his man wide open, makes a catch across the 30, spins out of a tackle and down to about the 28-yard line. That's Juan Carlisle with a Cobra first down.
Jawan Carlisle's had a great night, but he's down. Calling from some help on the sideline, hopefully nothing serious. He's been a big part of this offense tonight.
So the Cobra support staff will sprint over to the far side, just outside of the hash mark on the Explosion bench across the field. And the training staff over there as well to take a look at Juan Carlisle, who was down after making that first down reception.
And while they're looking into that, we'll give you another Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard. It is final from Columbus. The Fire, 28. And the Pittsburgh Saints, 6.
Carlisle up, started to spread off the field. Not quite able to put a lot of weight on that one ankle, but he is up and making his way to the Cobra bench below us.
Even has a little bit of a smile. I think he's going to be okay.
Man, looked up at the scoreboard, and that got a smile from him. It'll make anybody in Cobra green and black happy tonight.
Absolutely.
.245 to play. Clock begins to roll once again. It is a 1st and 10 for the Cobras at the Explosion 27-yard line, trying to cap this third quarter with their 5th touchdown of tonight's game. Now we've got a whistle that stops the play for an official's timeout.
We were so close.
They're going to respot the football, or there's an inspection going on of the ball. Deflate gate, I say. Deflate gate.
I believe there was a young man that played for the Western Reserve Scourge. Just like a softer ball.
Can grip it better.
Mr. Mike Withrow, yeah. Not that I'm throwing names out there.
He threw a lot of touchdowns for you.
He did. A lot of questions about that now. This looks like a serious conference here.
It's like a huddle about the football.
Jesse Caldwell out there talking to his team. The official has the ball, kind of inspecting it. The Explosion looking at it. I mean, I don't think it's going to change the game.
Somebody find that Patriots ball boy.
Yeah, I think
he might be down on the field.
I'm pretty sure Jesse just ran off with it.
Does have a ball.
Maybe he switched it out. I don't know. You got to do what you got to do. I mean,
he's coming off the field shaking his head, whatever it was.
It was really interesting to both teams as they started to kind of collaborate around the referee who he's okay, let's play football.
Looked up at the scoreboard and said, let's go.
But we still have officials kind of holding up the game. The referees blew the whistle for play. And the umpire and the line judge are
not satisfied.
Yeah, I don't know. And now the umpire is going to stop the clock.
Timeout Cobras was the indication.
Well, they started the clock for play before everybody was set, and then nobody seemed to be real interested.
Now that ball's going back into play.
He fixed it, trust me.
I don't know what. Never mind.
Ron Roberts had given it a little inspection too. Just put the ball down, man. Don't even look at it.
Somebody pick a football and hand it to the center. Let's go. All right. Now I think we're ready to get back to action. I need an update on what that exactly was.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Now we have pictures of the football being taken on the sidelines.
We'll try to keep you updated on the controversy. I have no idea what that's about.
Again, 2 receivers go to each side. Thompson takes the snap, turns the ball over with time. Nice timing ball, downfield, back shoulder fade, contact, and incomplete in the end zone. It's a nicely thrown ball that time by Thompson, but not able to complete it in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah, I think that was Emmett Calhoun who was the intended receiver. He tried to work his way around the defender who didn't turn his head around, and the defender inadvertently blocked the ball just by being in the way, not really doing anything intentional. So
got the job done.
Yeah. I'm sure that was just the way he drew it up.
Coach, he didn't catch it. We're fine. 1:07, clock rolling, third quarter, 26-0. Your Cobras in front.
Good to see Juwan Carlisle back in the backfield. He's had a few shots tonight.
Yeah, he's been a big part of the game plan tonight. Take the snap. Thompson's going to keep it. Step inside. 2 defenders carry both of those 2 defenders inside the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. And he's been a nice part of the running game tonight, making good decisions with the football. And now we've got another one of the Cobra linemen coming up a little gimpy as he comes off the field.
Yeah, and that's going to be the center for the Cobras. Maybe Lamoris Dillard, if I'm not mistaken. Center has been kind of a sore spot for them this year. But a pretty good job tonight. Not a whole lot to talk about in terms of that.
And when you play that position, that's how you like it.
Yeah, if you can come out of here and nobody even knows your name, you're doing okay.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. Thompson takes the high snap, rolling to his right, directing traffic to the pylon and too far out of bounds and incomplete. We've come to the end of the third quarter. After 3, it is the Cobras 26, the Lake Erie Explosion 0. We're back in 1 minute on Western Reserve Radio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamp-colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
This is Cleveland Cobras football on Western Reserve Radio.
With over the years.
Indeed. Yeah, it's been quite the experience.
Best of luck to our former colleague, Campbell Rico, moving out of the area and exploring some other opportunities. So best of luck to him.
Yeah, heading to the Windy City.
I hear that's your favorite major city.
That's a story for another broadcast.
Thompson takes the snap that he bobbles. He's going to step inside, a nice block, break a couple of tackles, and drive down to the 10-yard line. It's a nice run by Thompson, who's putting up some big numbers and a little bit of a conversation after that play.
Yeah, a little bit of discussion, a little bit trying to hug it out. The official just says, keep the clock rolling. No problem.
Support staff from both teams coming on the field, making sure they separate the conversationalists.
Yeah, as we say in hockey, you're just hugging it out. No big deal. It's a physical game. You have that from time to time. As long as it doesn't get out of hand, well.
I love how that was the indication to continue to run.
That's right. You know what? When in doubt, just move on.
I call that good officiating.
Yep, because now you're back on the clock. That offense has to get to the line.
Trips to the left, Twins to the right side. Thompson alone in the pistol formation. Takes the snap that goes through his hands, and that is going to be knocked around and picked up by one of the Cobra offensive linemen, who is eventually going to be blown down. Now
that's going to be Kevin Green.
Wow.
Who just had an offensive lineman's dream.
You love having the football in your hands when you wear 79.
Yeah, and that's it'll be Kevin Green on the carry. The Explosion player had the opportunity to get to it, but tried to scoop and run it. But
I thought scoop and score, and that did not happen.
The referee is even laughing about it a little as we I don't know if we had a flag. Somebody dropped their flag.
There's a flag back at the 42?
Yeah, it's going to be in the secondary or in the backfield of the Cobras. And I'm thinking somebody was talking too much on the Explosion side, and they're going to knock off 15. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, an unsportsmanlike against the Lake Erie Explosion. So that'll still, it was I think we lost our chain crew too, so.
And they got tangled up behind the Explosion bench for a moment.
A little pause in the action as we
get everything organized.
Yeah, I think they're going to have Joshua Huffman for the unsportsmanlike.
Still 4-1 Rays leading your Indians Guardians in the 6th inning.
Well, they didn't change the second half of the name anyway. Indians, Guardians.
The Cleveland baseball team.
We'll go with that. It's just Cleveland. Like anything else, we'll get used to it.
But the team in Washington can't pick a name. At least the Indians were able to do that. Downfield into the end zone. Low throw. Is that dug out? And they're going to say, no, that ball hit the turf incomplete. Emmett Calhoun couldn't quite dig it out.
And he's not even going to admit that, so that's mighty big of him. Might at least try to sell that a little bit. He's found that area right down the seam along the hash marks. That's been successful for him tonight, but ball was just a little bit short.
The one thing they haven't done, they've taken those 9 routes, but how about a nice stop and go? Because they're jumping those deep routes and take advantage over the top.
Yeah, at this point, I think you've got the Explosion defense doing what you want them to do. So anything that you change up at this point is going to be advantageous. And I know the Cobras want to get into the end zone at least one more time just to kind of polish this off and have that good feeling walking out of here tonight.
A nice 30-point number would be good to finish things off. 10:50 to play here in the 4th quarter and a 26-0 lead. Second down from the 20-yard line. Thompson picks up the low snap, avoids the rush. Eyes downfield, crows across his body, caught, touchdown Cobras. That's Jawan Carlisle with the touchdown for the Cobras.
Yeah, Dave Thompson took a little bit of a shot down, got up a little slow, but trying to create some time with his legs. And Jawan Carlisle worked his way back into the flats. And one thing you notice about Thompson, he keeps his head on a swivel all the time. He sees the entire width of the field. And he was looking for Carlisle out there, found him, and it's going to add 6 more on here. That's what they were looking for. Dave looking a little bit tired there.
It's touchdown pass number 5.
That's a good night. That's a good night for anybody at any level. So this is what the Cobras were looking for earlier in the year that they just couldn't get going. But tonight it's been one of those nights where nothing really goes wrong, or nothing has really gone wrong for you.
Unless you're a coach reviewing film, and you'll find something.
Oh, absolutely. You're hypersensitive to everything. And you hear the old line, nice job, but.
Next time.
Yep.
The Lions on for the extra point. High snap, gets it down, kick on the way. That's got plenty of distance, and that's good. So 9 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter, and a 33-0 lead for the Cobras.
Yeah, that's one more touchdown I think they wanted. Of course, this game is well in hand by now. We'll see how they handle it coming up. And, you get to this level, you've had a rough year, and you get in a situation, you smell blood, and you just want to keep going. But we'll see what Jesse wants to do to make sure, everybody stays healthy for next week.
And it's difficult, too, because you're playing, you're having fun, you're executing at a high level. But at times this year, you've been on the other end of the same situation, so you know what it's like.
Oh, yeah. And you just it sticks in your head, too, And this is a relief for these guys tonight. This is the night that they're having a good night. They can go home, feel good about themselves. And, again, you don't want to do too much now. You got a little over 8.5 minutes left. You want to stay healthy. You're playing a good Columbus Fire team that, you lost to 25-0 in Columbus. So it's not that you can't, there's no hope. I mean, I think that they can give them a good game here. Boy, what a monumental upset it would be. But with the way they played tonight and the things that have gone right for them, the things they've done better, never say never.
So Lions will kick the football away. And you can hear it in the microphone. That is a happy Cobra bench below us.
Yeah, it hasn't happened much this year. Again, they were happy with the effort last week, but you can only have so many moral victories, before it really starts to weigh on you.
Lions will have to have the football reset. May have to have someone hold that for him. It keeps blowing off the tee.
Well, Jerron Robertson was going to hold it. Lions said, nah, we're good. With a 33-0 lead, you're doing good.
As long as the ball stays on the tee, and it does. Nice deep kick. It's going to hit at the 10, and that's going to go out of bounds with the flag at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, a smart play by the Explosion. Let it go out of bounds. Get good field position. See if you can put something together, get some points on the board. Let a look at your Imperial Glazing Concepts out-of-town scoreboard. The Ohio Elite, and this was a mistake earlier by me, so the Ohio Elite Outlaws get the 20-0 win over the Ohio Gladiators. And that was your scoreboard update brought to you by Imperial Glazing Concepts. Imperial Glazing Concepts specializes in aluminum storefronts, curtain walls, doors, windows, composite panels, glass awnings, and point-supported glass systems. For a free estimate, call 330-652-6277. And, of course, stop out at Niles and see them.
The insert name of corporate car guy from the 90s has nothing on you.
No, love taking care of our sponsors. They're very disappointing season for the Ohio Gladiators. Chris Ballantyne's done a great job over there, but they've had such a tough schedule too. So many close games that they've had this year. You were hoping better for them, but just wasn't meant to be.
See who's Moss will remain in at quarterback. Couldn't tell if something had happened earlier to Townsend, who was delivering a couple shots defensively. I don't see him out there.
Yeah, Townsend's on the sideline. No helmet, though. So I wonder if there's maybe a concussion-type issue.
Moss swings the ball out of the flat. That pass was dropped incomplete. And bring up 2nd down and 10 with 6.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just too much pressure there. He was trying to get rid of the ball too quick and threw it right into the dirt. You can see he wasn't really set in his feet and couldn't get the ball around. Ken, he's a big guy too, so you want to watch those A gaps there. He may decide to run. You don't want to over pursue that, or you don't want to get in his way either.
Yeah, you don't want to be on either end of that, trying to bring him down or being brought down by him. Under 6 minutes, 5:50 as the Explosion break the huddle. Come to the line of scrimmage. Clock rolling here in this fourth quarter. After this play, we'll pause for a station identification coming up. Moss takes the snap, feeling some pressure. He'll flip it off to his receiver who makes the catch and brought down at the 45-yard line, and we'll pause for station identification.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Incompletion brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Explosion with exactly 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, John Jacobs coming in, breaking in on that pass pattern, quickly bringing him down. He was shot out of a cannon. That was going to be, I believe, Clinton White. Maybe Percy Payne. Not sure on the pressure. Made Raven Moss throw it quicker than he wanted to.
We've done that several times, getting that extra pressure into the backfield, really throwing off the rhythm of this Explosion offense.
Yeah, it's nice to see from the Cobras defense. Again, started last week and has certainly carried over into this week.
3rd down 5, 4:25 to play in the fourth quarter. Twins go to each side. Moss, hard count, got to just about 4 Cobra defenders to jump off sides, and they may have enough to pick up the first down.
Yeah, not a whole lot of question there. Percy Payne came through there loaded for bear, and I'm glad that they kind of stopped that play if they had let it go. Raven Moss may have...
unabated to the quarterback.
Yeah, he may have seen the end of his night as one of the footballs go rolling down the 20-yard line off the sideline. Might have been that same ball they were inspecting. I'm not sure. It's trying to get away now. Sign of a guilty conscience.
I didn't see a football. What football? There are no footballs here tonight. What are you talking about?
And I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of these balls. They have the Duke footballs, the NFL-style footballs with the GDFL logo on there.
That's pretty cool.
Looks very nice. They did a good job with that. That's a Charles Thompson creation, who's been a very, very busy man this season.
What a job he has done expanding this league from coast to coast. 4 receivers in the formation, 2 to each side. Moss to throw. Hit as he throws, and that ball almost intercepted. Great job by the defensive back to time up that throw. And the ball falls harmlessly to the turf and incomplete. John Jacobs Jr., the defensive back there.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to reach under there, maybe caught his fingers on the turf. He's kind of wincing in pain a little bit. A lot of effort there, but...
That shows you, with the score, what it is, how hard this team continues to play tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? John Jacobs has quietly had a really good game tonight. We've said his name a few times, but he's been right there as he tries to shake this off.
So 2nd down, just about 10 to go for the Explosion. Moss going to get the play from the sidelines, and he'll sprint it in with just over 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
We might have the 2-minute warning coming up. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Just depends.
We didn't have it at halftime. Maybe we'll have it at the end of the game.
Yeah, well, or we can just play right through.
That works too.
Yeah, 2 great things tonight. 2 goals that Cobra is going to accomplish. We'll talk about it right after this play.
2 receivers go to each side. Moss has a running back to his left side. Cobra's thinking they got someone to move up front on the Explosion offensive line, and what do we have?
I think they're going to have a false start. I think it was going to be John Michael there at the wing. He kind of lurched forward a little bit. Derek Glenn was quick to point that out. And then, I don't know. We're just going to go to our sidelines now. No timeout signal. Oh, 2-minute warning. We did have the 2-minute warning. That's what it was.
2-minute warning. We will take a quick break and come back for the final 2 minutes here on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross and was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and it is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Back to throw with time, rolling out, goes high downfield and incomplete. And we've got 1:36 to go here in tonight's fourth quarter.
And had Raven Moss had an opportunity to get his feet set, get his hips around, he had demo week out in the flats right around the 40-yard line. and just overthrew him there, and another opportunity for a Cobra defensive back. But sometimes it looks so obvious, you just really don't think it's coming to you.
I can't possibly be this open.
Yeah, I start to look around like, is that mine?
That's probably the hardest catch, though, wouldn't you say? When you know you're open, the crowd knows you're open, and you've got to make the play.
Yeah, no pressure there at all. I don't know. I wouldn't know because I never really. They never entrusted me with that obligation.
So you only got to touch the ball when you snapped it.
Yeah, I threw the ball backwards. I threw it better backwards than I did forward.
Some people can't do either.
You know what? As a linebacker, though, I did have 4 interceptions in my career.
And how many touchdowns?
Those have eluded me. I had one goal I had left. There was one that will never be fulfilled. That's it.
That's 4 interceptions more than I'll ever have, unless you count video games, and I'm assuming we don't.
Now, the first one I had complete accident and didn't know I had it. So, it's
hit you right between the numbers, did it?
Yeah, I was never what you would call the greatest skilled guy in the world. So,
25 seconds to go. 3rd down and 10 for the explosion trips to the right side. Moss going to roll that way, fading back, throws downfield, flag on the play. And another conversation taking place late in this game. Flags, and the clock will run.
Yep, and indeed it will, and that'll bring us to the end of this one. And I talked about the 2 goals that the Cobras really wanted to have tonight. Number 1 was to put up some offensive points. They put up 33 points, and then ultimately defense getting the shutout. So an all-around, well-rounded performance by the Cobras, something they've been looking for all season long, and they go home pretty good, feeling pretty good about themselves tonight.
Final score here tonight from Lakewood Middle School. Your Cobras 33, the Lake Erie Explosion 0. We're back to wrap it up in 60 seconds on Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Miss an episode of By All Means, and you could miss a lot.
I have the sound up, and I appreciate the guys that do the work now. But it is with great appreciation I see what the guys do, not only the announcers, but also the players. So we've had wonderful playoffs. I mean, single, double, triple overtime games. It's been fantastic.
By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio and streaming live on westernreserveradio.com.
This is Cleveland Cobras football on Western Reserve Radio.
Wrapping up things here tonight from Lakewood Middle School. Jim, a complete performance by the Cobras and a convincing 33-0 victory over the Lake Erie Explosion.
Yep, they can go home feeling pretty good about themselves tonight. They moved the ball on the ground. Dave Thompson made a huge difference at the quarterback position. All the receivers that they had great hopes for during in the preseason, that they knew had the skill and speed, got an opportunity tonight, some really big plays downfield, and they put a few wrinkles in there with the offense. We saw the option, we saw the run pass option. I mean, it was a lot of good things going on tonight, and we'll see how that they do next week against a very good Columbus Fire team. They lost 25-0 to down in Columbus. See if maybe they can get a better performance right here at home.
And a big performance from, as you said, David Thompson tonight. 5 touchdown passes, 49, 54, 17, 10, and 20 yards tonight. Definitely the player of the game for the Cobras, who get win number 2 tonight. They improve to 2-5. We'll play the Columbus Fire here next week. here on Western Reserve Radio. Tim Continenza and I will have the call of that one. The Explosion dropped to 0-6. They wrap up their season in 2 weeks, August 7th, when they head to Columbus to take on the Fire. Final thoughts, Jim?
The Explosion have a lot to build on. Again, we've seen their home situation, great organization, a lot of people involved, and you hope that they're going to be able to build for the future. You want to see organizations like this around. For the Cobras, again, a disappointing season, but a great performance tonight. This will make them feel a little bit better. And again, I think that confidence factor for next week is going to be something that we may look back on and go, you know what? They needed that 33-0 win, and I think they'll play the Fire tough. And they'll get into the postseason. They'll start putting things together and see where things land. There's some changes on the horizon, I think, at this level in our region. And with the GDFL, which all positive. Again, Charles Thompson and crew have done a great job of building this nationwide league. But, maybe some other opportunities around for these teams that are developing. We'll see as time goes on.
That'll do it for us here from Lakewood Middle School. For executive producer Dave Ferris, my partner Jim Craven, my name is Mark Means. You've been listening to Cleveland Cobras football right here on Western Reserve Radio. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great night, everyone.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name right now. But he went to the Broncos, won a Super Bowl after he left the Dallas Cowboys. He wore 94 for the Cowboys.
You're not a Cowboys fan. You ought to take it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Producer Jack, not knowing their glorious history, not knowing anything about those back-to-back Super Bowl teams, Jimmy Johnson, and the 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
I mean, I was born when the Cowboys started winning. I was 2 years old the last time that they won a Super Bowl, Dave. But I could tell you all about Tyrone Smith, Zach Martin, Doug Free back in the day, Tony Romo, Terrell Owens, Roy Williams for a brief period of time, Orlando Scandrick. I mean, I'm naming current Dallas Cowboys or recent Dallas Cowboys players.
What, you want me to give you credit for that?
It's just...
You don't know anything about their history, and you claim to be a fan.
But I could tell you everybody on the roster now, though.
If we get Tony Casillas on, I'm working on getting him on the show tomorrow, Producer Jai. I know we both sent him some... because, him being an Oklahoma Hall, he'd be a perfect guest, and he's a sports talk show host to talk about this move to the SEC. Are you going to say who's he if he calls you back? Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Why are you coming on the show? Do you even know anything about football?
Well, speaking of football, let's talk about college football. I know, Producer Jack, you went to the University of Houston, but you're a lifelong Texas A&M fan.
That's correct.
So the news breaks during the week that Oklahoma and Texas are thinking seriously about joining the Southeast Conference, which would, of course, I think that's a no-brainer. The Southeast Conference... I know it takes a 3/4 vote of all the teams to admit 2 new schools. And, I know Texas A&M hates Texas. They're going to vote no. But I would imagine it'll be a 13-1 vote, and they will be joining the conference, and they're as good as gone. And, Producer Jack, I know your Texas A&M Aggies, they were talking about fighting it, and they were talking about going to court. I don't think there's anything they can do, and they're claiming they own the rights to Texas when it comes to the SEC. No, they don't. There's nothing in their contract, there's nothing in the bylaws of the SEC that says they can't take teams that they want if they're voted in by the other members of the conference. So, Texas A&M, your Aggies are going to have to live with this, Producer Jack.
Well, I mean, when I first heard the news, me speaking for all of Texas A&M fandom, we're not excited because you finally got out of the shadow of Big Brother when you went to the SEC. And Jimbo Fisher, since Kevin Sumlin's departure, has built up a respectable football program. And now that Texas and Oklahoma could be joining the SEC, all that recruiting ground that Texas A&M has in, let's say, the Dallas, the San Antonio, Austin, even to some extent, Houston market in Texas and Oklahoma, their main recruiting pitch was, hey, come play in the SEC for Texas A&M. Now, go ahead.
Where does Oklahoma get most of their best players from?
I think it's the DFW area,
Texas,
North
Dallas,
Texas.
Fort Worth. They recruit the heck out of Texas. So, now they're in the SEC as well. So I can understand why A&M would be a little leery about all of this, Producer Jack.
Well, also, Oklahoma's gotten some of their last Heisman Trophy winners from other schools, a la Kyler Murray from A&M and Baker Mayfield from Texas Tech.
And Spencer Rattler could win the Heisman this year. And, he's from Arizona. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, Producer Jack. They stole him away from Pac-12 country. But anyway, you know how much it's going to cost Oklahoma and Texas each to leave the conference and go to the SEC?
I heard it was somewhere around $75 million.
$76 million each to get out of their TV deals and get out of the bylaws and all the agreements they made in the Big 12 Conference.
You don't think that the boosters at Texas and Oklahoma will say, okay, just they can throw $75 million into a fan just for fun?
Well, but what does that tell you about the financial benefits of being in the SEC? Texas A&M has made a windfall going there with the TV rights and playing in the best conference in the country, where two schools would gladly